But life isn't really like this. You can't Uber Eats your way into a healthy life. You can't Amazon Prime going to the gym. If you've ever tried to change your health, change your fitness, or really just make positive lifestyle changes in your life, it can be super frustrating when you don't see results when you want to. And while time is definitely needed to see results, there are sometimes things that people are doing in their daily life that can be hindering or slowing down results. I myself have had some of these habits before, and once I corrected them, I saw my results a lot faster, and the results were even more impressive than I could even have imagined. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 habits that can be stopping you from seeing your fitness results. If you're new to this channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button. It does help support my channel, and I share a lot of different nutrition, fitness, and wellness videos. So the first habit is drinking your calories. A lot of people drink beverages that are really high in calories and high in sugar, and this can add up really fast. And drinking your calories can be problematic for a variety of reasons. First, beverages are already essentially pre-digested or broken down, so our stomach doesn't have to do a lot in order to process it. Beverages are essentially pre-digested and already broken down, so they don't need to sit in your stomach very long before they pass into your intestine. A lot of sugary beverages are already broken down into simple sugars, meaning that our body doesn't actually have to do that much work to digest them. So when you drink a sugary beverage and it reaches your stomach doesn't have to do a lot of work, it doesn't have to break down very much, and so it's able to leave your stomach pretty quickly. The issue with this is that the longer food stays in your stomach, the fuller you're going to feel. For example, if you had a meal that had a lot of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, it's going to take your stomach a while to break that down, and it sits in your stomach a lot longer. So your stomach has some work to do. Because there's food sitting in your stomach, it doesn't release ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. Instead, it releases a hormone called leptin, which is our fullness hormone. This is why it's recommended to have foods that are high in fiber, high in fat, and high in protein, because these take longer to break down and can help satiate you or keep you full longer. If you're drinking a lot of your beverages, it goes into your stomach and leaves quickly, so your stomach feels empty relatively fast and starts shooting off those ghrelin hormones or those hunger hormones, telling your body and telling your brain that it needs food. This is why if you drink a sugary beverage, you'll feel pretty hungry shortly after. Also, it's a lot easier to drink something than it is to chew. Chewing food takes a little bit more energy, and as a result, it takes longer to do. It's easy to down a 500 calorie Starbucks drink, but it might be a little bit harder to eat a 500 calorie meal in the same amount of time. And if you were to have these beverages multiple times a day, it can add up super fast. So whenever possible, I would recommend that you get your calories from whole food that you have to sit down and eat, and leave most of your beverages to lower calorie options such as water, coffee, or tea. The second bad habit is drinking too much alcohol. Technically speaking, this could be put into the first topic, but I do feel it deserves its own category. Honestly, one of the largest issues I see with people that are really trying to achieve fitness results is that they still drink a lot of alcohol. First of all, alcohol tends to be pretty high in calories on its own. Alcohol itself, technically speaking, is that 4th macronutrient. It has 7 calories per gram just on its own. Then you pair that with sugar or other types of ingredients that are high in calories, and it can really add up quickly. The second thing is that alcohol is prioritized by our body first. So the moment your body notices that you're drinking alcohol, a lot of the other processing slows down. And instead, the body is trying to get rid of the alcohol in your body because, yes, technically it is a toxin. So when it comes to metabolizing other macronutrients, this might be slowed down a little bit and could also be hindering your results. The third thing is that when we drink alcohol, we start to make bad decisions, and we start to really not pay attention to our fitness goals. So for example, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you may be more prone to ordering less healthy foods, eating larger amounts of foods, snacking throughout the evening. And while it's totally fine to do this in moderation, it can add up, especially if you're drinking every single weekend, multiple times a week. Really, at the end of the day, drinking should be reserved to special occasions. So if you're finding that you're going to the gym, you're eating a really nutritious diet, you're getting quality sleep, but you tend to still drink a little bit too much, I would really encourage you to slow down on that and see how that helps your results. The third issue is not getting a variety of different workouts in. Now, this really depends on your fitness goals, so take this with a grain of salt, but for the general population and for people who are just looking to really improve their fitness levels a little bit, lose a little bit of weight, maybe put on a little bit of muscle, I find variety works the best. For example, I find that a lot of people really focus on only one form of exercise instead of getting variety throughout the week. So if you're running every single day long distance, but you're not doing any strength training, that's not going to be most beneficial for you. Putting Putting on a little bit of muscle mass actually helps to increase our metabolic rate and help you burn calories a little bit more efficiently. So by having a little bit of extra muscle and then also combining that with cardio, you're getting the best of both worlds. This applies to the opposite end of the spectrum too. I find a lot of people are only doing strength training workouts, they're only lifting weights, and they're doing absolutely no form of cardio. While I don't think a lot of people need to be doing really high intensity cardio all the time, it's really important that you're still incorporating some into your workout routine. Not only is this important for improving your lung capacity and your heart health, but it also improves your overall endurance and actually allows you to perform workouts more efficiently. Keep in mind, when we're talking about cardio, I'm not just talking about running. I actually don't like running. I like to sprint, but I do not like long distance. It just doesn't work best for my body. So when I say cardio, it can be long walks on an incline, it can be hiking, it can be cycling, biking, rollerblading, skating, a variety of different ways to move your body and get your heart rate up a little bit. Unless you're really trying to accomplish a specific fitness goal, so for example, powerlifting, or let's say you want to run a marathon, for most people, getting a variety throughout the week is key. And what this looks like is up to you. Let's say you really like strength training most, then maybe you'll do strength training 3, 4, 5 times a week, and then you add a little bit of cardio throughout the week somehow. If you really like cardio and you're not the biggest fan of strength training, maybe you incorporate a little bit of Pilates into your workout, or a little bit of weightlifting, and then you mostly focus on your preferred form of exercise. Remember that balance is key, so we don't want to go to extremes on either end of fitness. So yeah, you're getting in a little bit of cardio, you're getting a little bit of strength training, you're getting a little bit of stretching, and you're getting functional movement in. And also you're getting some rest. Balance is key to overall fitness. The fourth issue is not controlling your portion sizes. As a kid, I'm sure you were told to make sure your plate was clear before you could leave the dinner table. And while there were really good intentions behind this, it can be problematic as an adult. By always being taught that you need to finish what's in front of you, you subconsciously always want to do that. So for example, if you have a bag of chips, you may subconsciously want to complete the whole bag of chips because you've been told and you've taught your brain that's when you're done eating. Because of this, I tell a lot of people to pay attention to their portion sizes, maybe use smaller plates and bowls, and they can still finish that portion and be satisfied. So for example, instead of eating the bag of chips, you take the bag of chips and you pour it into a small bowl. Once you're done the bowl, you might actually feel more satisfied than you realize. For a lot of people, it's really just finishing what's in front of you that is important. Also, instead of filling your plate until it looks like a mountain and all the edges of the plate are full, why not try to get a little bit of everything that's served at the table on your plate and make sure you finish everything first before going for seconds. And for a lot of people, taking 5 minutes before going for seconds can actually help give your brain a little bit of time to say, hey, I'm full. So if you're at the dinner table with your family or your friends, maybe try talking a little bit more and slowing down your eating. That may give you, again, enough time to register that you're full. If you're just eating and eating and eating and not paying attention to your hunger and what's on your plate, you may actually eat a lot more calories than you intended to, and you may be really, really full after. And that's why a lot of the time after dinner, we sit back and go, man, I ate way too much food. Why did I let myself do this? So paying a little bit more attention to your portions and the timing of your eating can make a huge difference. The fifth issue is over-restricting foods you like. And I want you to keep this in mind anytime you're thinking of following a really strict diet. When you treat certain foods as the forbidden fruit, you actually become more obsessed with them, they actually become more enticing, and you're more likely to actually crave them. And it's essentially just because it's not allowed. And it really comes down to the fact, just like when we were kids and we were told not to do something, the moment we're told not to do something, it's the more we want it. Basically what you're doing is you're taking all the bad foods and placing them on a pedestal and making them superior to all other foods. And essentially you're telling yourself that you're going to suffer and not enjoy these things. And it becomes a really negative experience. But I want you to for 1 second consider, what if you actually just consider all of them just food? And before anyone says anything, of course there's foods that are way healthier, way more nutritious than others, and that's a given. But if you start taking away the specialness of these other foods and actually treat everything as equal, you actually will see them as less valuable and not as high on a pedestal. And if you start saying to yourself, if I want chocolate, I can have it anytime. If I want ice cream, I can have it anytime. You no longer think of it as that special event that you need to eat it up while it's there. A really good example is during the holidays when, for example, your mom or your grandma makes your favorite dessert, and you only get that dessert once a year during that holiday. Because that food is only available for a short period of time, you're going to eat as much as possible because it's rare and it's something that you value. Instead, if that food was available the entire year whenever you wanted, that food's no longer special because you can get it whenever you want. So while I'm not saying to have chocolate and ice cream and all these treats in your house all the time, because that's not beneficial either, all I'm saying is to not restrict yourself yourself, and if you do want to have something, have it in moderation. The less power you give to certain food, the less power it will have over you. And the last issue is being really impatient. I find so many people give up right before they should start seeing results. But remember, everything takes time. And if you're being really impatient and you're not allowing your body to actually make the changes gradually, of course whatever you're doing isn't going to work. If we're going to be real for a second, most people need to be a lot more patient than they're being. And your results are actually going to come when you give your body the time, and your results will come when you actually give your body enough time to do the work. You're not going to lose 30 pounds in a week. It's just not going to happen in a healthy way. Instead, yeah, you might lose weight slowly over time, but it's more sustainable and it's going to be longer lasting. You're not going to build 20 pounds of muscle either in a week. It's going to take time. The issue is that in our society, we're so used to immediate results, immediate satisfaction, immediate service, immediate gratification. But life isn't really like this. You can't Uber Eats your way into a healthy life. You can't Amazon Prime going to the gym. Unfortunately, social media has taught us that results happen in an instant, and that somebody lost a bunch of weight seemingly overnight, or somebody put on a ton of muscle in what seems like a month, and it's because they posted a before and after photo in a matter of 20 seconds. But in reality, if they did it in a healthy way, it probably took a lot longer than that. So please just give yourself some grace, give yourself some time, and allow yourself the time to actually make sustainable changes in your life. In the meantime, I recommend making mini goals that you can actually accomplish a lot quicker. If your only goal is to lose X amount of pounds or build X amount of muscle or run a marathon, yeah, you're going to be impatiently waiting for a very long time. And it can really feel like you're never going to achieve that massive result. So instead, what I recommend is make a very large goal, but also make smaller goals that you can achieve along the way. So for example, if you're just adopting a new healthier lifestyle, maybe make it a goal to exercise 3 times a week and do that for an entire month. After a month of doing that consistently, see how proud you feel. I'm sure you're going to feel a lot better about yourself than you realize. Or for example, maybe it's not having as much pop or soda in a day. Or for example, maybe it's to have a little bit more water every day. Or maybe it's to go to bed 30 minutes earlier every night for a week. Whatever your little mini goal is, by actually achieving these and repeating this process over and over again, you're proving to yourself that you're more than capable of setting a goal and achieving it. And over time, these little goals will be evidence that you can achieve a much larger goal. The key is to focus on the positives and focus on what you're doing right and what you're adding to your life. And the moment you switch into a positive mindset over your lifestyle habits, the better the journey is going to be. So I hope this video helped you better understand a lot of really common habits that can be hindering results. And you're not alone in this. I've made these mistakes. I've seen so many people I know make these mistakes, and it's not something that we should necessarily feel bad about, but it's just learning different habits and tweaking the things that we do to end up seeing better results. Now, not all of these habits may apply to you, and maybe you find that some work more than others, but I really want you to start at least paying attention to your habits and seeing where you can make little adjustments. And remember, you don't have to make all of these changes all at once. Maybe just focus on one category at a time over the next couple months to a year and see how that makes a big difference. Let me know in the comments any habits that really resonated with you and maybe ones that you would like to start changing in your life. And I'll see you in the next video.